Hello guys and welcome back to a new video from myself, Private Hire Mike, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a introduction to Uber Exec for anybody who is considering to become an Uber Exec driver. Okay, now just before I continue, I am an Uber Exec driver myself, so I will be giving you some of my own experience here. So Exec, what is it? It is offering premium rides with experienced drivers. So this is literally from the Uber website. What are the requirements? So obviously you're going to need your badge to work. You as a driver would have had to complete 1,000 trips on the Uber platform. You would have also had to maintain a rating of 4.90 and above. And essentially, you will need to have a vehicle which is eligible for Uber Exec. And I'm going to cover that in the next slide. Exec vehicles at the time of recording this video, 2023, must be manufactured in 2016 or later. And right now, for example, in 2023, vehicles registered 2017 are eligible. However, I'm thinking that perhaps Uber have allowed 2016 till the end of this year, apparently, because of shortage of drivers or maybe something to do with COVID. I'm not quite sure exactly what, but more or less think about it as a 2017 vehicle. I think 66 plate as well. But again, yeah, we'll cover. I'll clarify that, or if somebody can clarify that in the comments. So, vehicles for Exec. Here are some of the vehicles that you can use for Uber Exec. You have Mercedes E-Class, which is probably the most popular vehicle that you'll see on the Uber Exec platform. This car, if you're purchasing it, it's probably going to be the most expensive because it is the Mercedes badge. And generally speaking, drivers tend to get this car in silver or black because if you're using it for Exec, that's usually the go-to for Exec vehicles. And it comes in a diesel or plug-in hybrid. If you're buying this car for Exec, you're going to have to get the plug-in hybrid model, which I believe is the DE model. It is the diesel hybrid. If you're renting it, you can find somebody who's got a diesel version. And I've actually driven the diesel one myself, found it to be good. Moving on to the next vehicle is the BMW 5 Series. Now, this is the vehicle that I personally use. And first and foremost, if you're buying this vehicle, it's cheaper than a Merc. If you're renting it, it should also be cheaper if it's like the same year. Typically, again, drivers will get this in silver or black. Now, in terms of buying this vehicle, again, if you're looking to buy this vehicle for Exec at this present time, it's going to have to be the plug-in hybrid version, and that is going to be the 530e. And if you're renting it, then you might find some diesel versions. I'm actually driving a diesel hybrid, and that's because the one that I'm using was registered as a private hire vehicle before these changes took place in 2023. Now TfL state that any new vehicle must have a certain output of carbon. I think something like 0. I'll probably have to do another video on that rather, but yeah. And then, okay, going on to the next vehicle is the Volvo S90. Now, this is probably the most affordable. You can get it in silver or black, usually. Now, the only issue with this vehicle, right, and this is through my own experience of doing Uber Executive, is that most customers, when they book Exec, they're looking for a Mercedes-Benz E-Class to turn up. They're usually okay with a 5 Series. But if they see a Volvo S90, and I have clarified this with some of my customers, they'll tend to cancel because Volvo, although this, yes, is an Exec eligible car, a lot of people don't see it as one. And actually, this car is really good bang for buck. It's probably even better than the BMW, arguably, in some respects. But rider may be disappointed, and this could affect you because the customer might cancel it and wait for another vehicle to come, which is an E-Class or a 5 Series, or they might even give you a lower rating. Okay, I'm going to continue on to some more cars. The Tesla Model S. Now, this is an Exec car. It's free from the congestion charge. It's most expensive, okay? So don't quote me on this, but if you was to buy this secondhand, I think around 2017, you're still paying in the 30,000 mark, maybe even a bit more. I'm not sure. Again, if someone knows, you can comment down below. This car is a lovely car, obviously. It's Tesla. But yeah, again, it's probably the most expensive. So if you're looking to get into executive work, you probably don't want to get a Model S straight away. You could maybe rent one, but I'm sure the rental value will be quite expensive. Again, it's fully electric and it will also be eligible for Uber Green. So quite a good choice for exec because a lot of the exec work is going to be in town, central London area. So maybe you want to give this one a go. Then the Audi A6. Again, brilliant bang for buck. If you're buying this car now, you will have to get to the plug-in hybrid model, which exists. If you're renting it or if you own one already, then of course you'll have the diesel version. And this is actually a great car. Customers will probably like it as well because Audi's kind of like a more up-tier branded car, let's just say, than a Volvo. And yeah, quite spacious on the inside. And again, cheaper than a BMW or a Mercedes. And then we have the Jaguar XF, again, an executive car. One of my colleagues' friends owns this car and I've been in it. Pretty good car again. It's eligible for exec. Can't say much about it. But again, this car, before TfL changed their policies about what cars can be registered, used to be probably the cheapest one, really. Not the cheapest one, but you could pick this up for a pretty good price. Now, unfortunately, Jaguar, they don't offer this car in a plug-in. So if you're looking to get this car now for Uber Exec, you won't be able to. Now, before I go on to the next screen as well, I want to point out that Jaguar also have a electric car called, I believe, the E-Pace, which is eligible for Uber Executive. All right, let's go on to the next slide. Rent or buy? Okay, rent or buy. This is a very good question. Now, to rent first and foremost gives you a feel for the market before you commit to a large purchase. So if you're new to Uber Exec, you might not know the market or you probably don't know the market. So I'd always recommend that you rent first and try to just rent any exec vehicle. And the reason why I say this is because you want to see how Uber Executive works in your area. Don't worry too much about getting a Mercedes E-Class. I mean, if you can find one, then great. But I tend to find that the E-Classes are the ones that are the hardest to get and usually the most expensive to rent. Okay, if you can find a Volvo S90 or let's say an Audi A6, try that. Now, if you know about Uber Exec, then by all means, and if you make money from it and you like it, then by all means, go out there and purchase the vehicle. There's always going to be benefits between the two. And I'm actually going to do another video in the future about the benefits of renting a car versus buying a car. On to the next slide, Uber Exec pricing. So I've actually taken a screenshot from the Uber customer app, and I'm going to read it quickly. And it said, your fare will be the upfront price displayed when you click to confirm your trip request. The upfront price doesn't include wait time charges or cancellation fees. The upfront price may not apply if your trip varies due to significant changes of route, destination duration, or due to extra stops. So before I read all of this, Uber obviously have their upfront price. However, it does vary from the other ones. So with Uber Exec, the base fare is £3.10. The minimum fare is £7.60. So generally, what this means is that the lowest fare that you will receive on Uber Executive will be £7.60. Per minute on your ride will be calculated at 23 pence per minute, and you'll be paid £1.90 per mile. Now, I'm going to do another video as well in the future comparing these all together between Uber X, Exec, Comfort, Excel, okay, to find out which is the best. But there you go. Those are the rates that Uber Executive charges. And as a general rule of thumb, I will say this. If you're working for Uber X, £2 a mile is usually a great price. Comfort, £2.50. And with Uber Executive, if you're getting about £3 a mile, that's generally quite good. So if Uber sends you, for example, a job that's 10 miles and you're getting £30 for it, then usually they ain't pocketing much for themselves. All right, guys. So thank you for watching this quick presentation on Uber Executive, starting on Uber Executive. I will be doing an Uber Executive Shift video as well in the future. Let me know if you would be interested, and have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching. If you found the video useful, do hit the thumbs up, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.